There's a girl standing at the edge of the sea. She is 16 years old. She lives on a small island off the coast of Busan, in a Korea that no longer belongs to Koreans. Her father has a cleft lip, a broken spine, and more dignity than anyone around him. She sells fish at the market. She washes laundry at the stream. She asks nothing of the world. And then a man walks into her life. He is beautiful and dangerous. And he says all the right things. And nothing, not one thing, will ever be the same. I'm Bruce Han. Welcome back to English with Bruce, where we don't just read the subtitles, we read what's underneath them. Today's drama, Pachinko, Apple TV Plus, TVing, 2 seasons, 2022 and 2024, based on a New York Times best-selling novel by Min-jin Lee, told in 3 languages, Korean, Japanese, English, winner of the Peabody Award, one of the most acclaimed dramas of this decade. And I will say this plainly, it is the best piece of Korean storytelling I have ever seen on a screen. Today's question, what do you do when the country you were born in, the country that raised you, is taken away, and the country you moved to refuses to take you in? Where do you belong when belonging itself has been made impossible? The drama follows 4 generations of one Korean family, from 1915 to 1989. At the center of everything, Sunja. As a young woman in the 1930s, she is played by Min-ha Kim. As an elderly woman in 1989, she is played by Yoon Ye-jung, an Academy Award winner who makes every scene feel like the last. Sunja grows up in Yeongdo, a small island near Busan, helping her mother run a boarding house after her father dies young. She falls in love with Go Han-soo, powerful Zainichi, or Korean Japanese, based in Osaka, who visits the island for business. He is played by Lee Min-ho. He is magnetic and ruthless, and genuinely loves her in a way that changes nothing and costs her everything. She becomes pregnant. She discovers he already has a wife in Japan. He offers to take care of her and the child from a distance, as a secret. Sunja says no. She marries Isaac, a kind, principled Protestant minister who offers to give her child a name and her family a future. They move to Osaka, and there the real story begins. Because in Japan, they are not simply poor, they are Korean. And in the Japan of that era, those 2 facts together mean something brutal. In 1989, Sunja's grandson Solomon, American educated, ambitious, fluent in 3 languages, returns to Japan to close a land deal for his investment firm. He has a Yale degree. He wears a good suit. He speaks better Japanese than his Japanese colleagues. And he still cannot outrun what he is. The drama moves between these 2 timelines constantly, 1930s Osaka and 1989 Tokyo, asking the same question across 50 years. Is the world any different now? The answer is complicated and honest and devastating. Expression 1, to be written off. To be written off means to be dismissed, to be treated as if you have no value, as if you are not worth the time, the effort, the consideration, not defeated, ignored, which is sometimes worse. Sunja's family is written off from the moment they arrive in Osaka. They live in the Ikaino district, the Korean neighborhood of Osaka, a place the Japanese walk around rather than through. They cannot own land. They work jobs no Japanese worker will take. Their names are replaced with Japanese pronunciations in official documents. Sunja's brother-in-law, Yosef, has worked the factory floor for years without advancement. Not because he is not capable, because the ceiling is not made of glass. It is made of something much older and much harder. And Solomon, 50 years later, is written off the moment Abe, a senior figure at the table, asks what his blood type is. Solomon answers, O-type. Abe says that means he is the optimistic type. Solomon says optimism is a survival instinct. The room moves on, but nothing about that exchange was small talk. In Japan, blood type is not a health question. It is a way of taking your measure. He has done everything right. He speaks 3 languages. He closes deals. And he is still being asked at a business dinner to prove he belongs. Say it with me. His doctor wrote him off after 1 visit. It took a second opinion to find what had been there all along. She had been written off by every committee until the day she walked in with results they could not dispute. Notice what this phrase holds. To be written off is not to be attacked. It is to be erased from the calculation. It is to have someone decide quietly, procedurally, that you do not count. Sunja and Solomon faced this across generations, across time zones, across languages. And what the drama shows us is this. The people who write you off are not always cruel. Sometimes they're simply comfortable. That is almost harder to bear. I need to stop here for a moment because there is something this drama does that I have never seen done before. It is told in Korean, Japanese, and English, and the language each character speaks is never an accident. When Sunja speaks Japanese, she is performing survival. When she speaks Korean, she's speaking her real self. The shift between the two, sometimes in the same scene, sometimes in the same breath, is one of the most precise pieces of storytelling I have ever watched. Solomon grew up in Japan, was educated in America, and conducts business in 3 languages. He is fluent in all of them, and yet none of them is fully his. He belongs nowhere completely. He performs differently in each language, for a different audience, with a different version of himself. This is what linguists call code switching. But in Pachinko, it is not a communication strategy. It is a survival strategy. And it costs something every single time. Expression 2, to bear the weight of something. To bear the weight of something means to carry a burden. Not one you choose, but one that was placed on you by history, by family, by a world that decided you would be the one to carry this. It means you are still standing, but you feel it. Every character in Pachinko bears the weight of something. Sunja bears the weight of a choice she made at 16, to refuse a powerful man, to protect her dignity, to marry a good one instead. That choice saves her, and it costs her sons decades. Isaac bears the weight of faith in a country that punishes faith. He has been organizing quietly alongside factory workers and labor advocates, teaching them that their power is in numbers, and the empire calls that treason. He is arrested. He is taken away in broad daylight, right after his son's first birthday celebration. And both Sunja and Noah run after the police car into the street until it disappears. And Solomon bears the weight of a family history he did not choose and cannot put down. His father, Mosatsu, owns Pachinko parlors. Solomon was ashamed of that as a young man. He wanted a different story. He wanted the suit, the bank, the title, and then the bank reminds him, gently, structurally, in the form of a business dinner that turns into a loyalty test, that the suit was never really his. He was always his father's son, and he has to decide what that means. Say it with me. She bore the weight of the family's silence for 20 years before anyone thought to ask if she was carrying too much. He didn't break under it, but you could see, if you look closely, that he was bearing the weight of a history he had never been given the chance to set down. Now listen to that second sentence. Bearing the weight does not collapse. It is the thing before the collapse. It is the part nobody sees. The effort of standing upright when the weight is extraordinary. That is Sunja, from episode 1 to episode 8 to the final frame of season 2. She does not fall, she bears. And Yoon Ye-jung makes you feel every year of it in the way she holds her body still. On the surface, Pachinko is a story about a Korean family in Japan across 4 generations. Underneath that, it is about something that has no country and no era. The novel begins with a line that stays with you. History has failed us, but no matter. That is Sunja's entire life in 9 words. She was failed by colonization, by a man who lied to her, by a country that took her husband, by a system that told her children they were not real Japanese, and then told them they were not real Koreans either. But no matter. She sells kimchi at the market to feed her sons. She watches her husband being arrested and does not collapse in public. She keeps going, not because she is fearless, because she has decided, with great clarity and great cost, that she is not done yet. The Pachinko machine is the metaphor around which the novel and the drama were built. Small steel balls dropped into a vertical machine, bouncing off pins, sent in directions no player can fully control. Most fall out of the bottom and are lost. A few land somewhere that matters. The Korean family in Japan, the Japanese Koreans, or Zainichis, were those balls, dropped into a machine designed by someone else, with odds not in their favor, with no say in the rules, and still, some of them land. Sunja lands, not where she aimed, not where she dreamed, but she lands. Expression 3, against all odds. Against all odds means, despite everything working against you, it happened anyway. The likelihood was low. The opposition was real. And yet, here you are. It is not a lucky phrase. It is an earned one. Everything in Pachinko happens against all odds. Sunja survives a pregnancy that should have destroyed her reputation. Against all odds, Isak, taken by the Japanese police for organizing against the empire, holds on to his faith in a cell. Against all odds, Mosasu builds a Pachinko business from nothing, an industry that was the only one open to Koreans, and turns it into something that lasts. Against all odds. And Solomon walks away from the deal at the end of season 1. An elderly Korean woman about to sign asks him, if she were your grandmother, what would you tell her? He says he would tell her not to sign. The deal falls apart. He loses his job. He chooses something he cannot name over something he had spent years chasing. That is against all odds for a man who was built to close. Say it with me. Against all odds, she kept the boarding house running through the war, through the occupation, through every year that should have finished her. He made it to the final round against all odds. And the first thing he said was, I didn't do this alone. What I want you to notice is where that phrase goes in English. Against all odds is not the same as barely. Barely means you almost didn't. Against all odds means the odds were real, and you beat them anyway. There is dignity in that difference. Sunja's entire life is that difference. The first line of Min-jin Lee's novel, history has failed us, but no matter. That is not defeat. That is not optimism. That is something older and more stubborn than both. It is the decision, made quietly, made daily, made without applause, to keep going in a world that has given you every reason to stop. Pachinko is a drama about Korea, about Japan, about 1915, 1945, 1989. And it is also about every family that was told to disappear and instead held on. If you have a grandparent who survived something that should not have been survivable, you will recognize every frame of this show. Today, you learned 3 expressions: to be written off, to bear the weight of something, against all odds. These are not textbook phrases. These are the words for a life lived sideways. Against history, against systems, against the expectation that people like you simply do not make it. Which is to say, these are the words for most lives. If we're being honest, go watch Pachinko on Apple TV Plus and TV Ing. And tell me in the comments, in English, is there something in your life you have been carrying that you never chose to carry? or something that happened against all odds that you are still trying to fully believe, I read every single one. This is English with Bruce. Don't just learn the words. Learn what the words are reaching for. See you next time.